You meet someone attractive, the chemistry feels real, but 6 months later, you're miserable, wondering how you missed the warning signs that were there from the beginning. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most men learn too late. Not every attractive, interesting woman is actually good for you. In fact, some personality patterns and behavioral traits are almost guaranteed to create toxic, exhausting relationships, no matter how attracted you are initially. Today, I am breaking down 6 types of women you should absolutely avoid dating. Not because there's anything wrong with them as people, but because these patterns create relationship dynamics that will drain you, frustrate you, and ultimately waste years of your life. Red flag 1, the perpetual victim. The first type of woman to avoid is the perpetual victim. Someone who sees herself as constantly wronged by everyone around her and takes no responsibility for the patterns in her life. Here's what this looks like. Every story she tells positions her as the innocent victim and someone else as the villain. Her ex was a narcissist who ruined her life. Her boss is unfairly targeting her. Her friends betrayed her. Her family doesn't understand her. Every bad outcome in her life is someone else's fault. And she never acknowledges her own role in creating or perpetuating problems. The psychological pattern here is called external locus of control. The belief that your life is controlled by external forces rather than your own choices and actions. People with this mindset never develop the self awareness or accountability needed for healthy relationships because they genuinely don't see how their behavior contributes to their outcomes. Why is this toxic for relationships? Because eventually you will become the villain in her story. When conflicts arise in your relationship, she won't take responsibility for her part. She won't work on changing her behavior because she doesn't believe her behavior is the problem. Every disagreement becomes about what you did wrong, never about what she could do differently. You'll find yourself constantly defending yourself against accusations, explaining your intentions, and trying to prove you're not the bad guy she's painting you as. It's exhausting and ultimately futile because her victim identity requires villains to maintain itself. Red flag 2, the validation addict. The second type to avoid is the validation addict, a woman whose self-worth is entirely dependent on constant external validation, particularly male attention. This manifests as constant need for attention, compliments, and proof that she's desired. Here's the pattern. She needs constant reassurance that you find her attractive. She fishes for compliments constantly. She posts provocative photos on social media and carefully monitors the responses. She keeps orbiters, other men who are clearly interested in her, maintaining contact for validation purposes. She flirts with other men even when you're present to confirm she's still got it. The psychology behind this is deep insecurity masquerading as confidence. Despite appearing confident or even arrogant about her attractiveness, she genuinely doesn't believe in her own value without constant external confirmation. This creates an insatiable need for validation that no single person can ever fulfill. Why is this toxic? Because her need for validation will consistently override your relationship boundaries. She'll maintain inappropriate relationships with other men because she needs that attention. She'll make you compete for her attention with countless others. She'll create drama and jealousy situations to feel desired. And nothing you do will ever be enough because the hole she's trying to fill is internal. You'll exhaust yourself trying to make her feel secure and valued only to realize that no amount of love, attention, or commitment from you fills that void. Meanwhile, she's collecting validation from every possible source, creating constant conflict and insecurity in your relationship. Red flag 3, the constant drama creator. The third type to avoid is the drama creator. Someone who seems to generate chaos and conflict wherever she goes and actually appears energized by drama rather than exhausted by it. Here's the pattern. There's always a crisis, always conflict, always something dramatic happening in her life. She's fighting with friends, having issues at work, in conflict with family, or creating problems in your relationship. The specific issue changes, but the drama is constant. And when things are calm, she seems almost uncomfortable, like she needs to create conflict to feel alive. The psychology here is often related to what therapists call chaos addiction. Some people become so accustomed to high stress, high drama environments that calm, stable situations feel uncomfortable or boring. They unconsciously create drama to return to the familiar high stress state that feels normal to them. Red flag 4, the financially irresponsible. The fourth type to avoid is the financially irresponsible woman, someone who has no control over her finances and expects others to bail her out of consequences. Here's the pattern. She consistently spends beyond her means, has no savings despite having income, makes impulsive purchases she can't afford, and somehow always has financial crises that mysteriously become your problem to solve. She might make decent money, but somehow is always broke. She has debt she's not seriously addressing. She expects expensive dates and gifts while contributing nothing financially to the relationship. The psychology here often involves either genuine financial illiteracy, impulsivity, and poor self control, or an entitled mindset where she expects others to provide for her lifestyle while she spends her own money on whatever she wants. Why is this toxic? Because financial irresponsibility doesn't exist in isolation. It reflects broader issues with responsibility, impulse control, and future planning. Someone who can't manage money also typically struggles with other forms of adult responsibility. Red flag 5, the disrespectful. The fifth type to avoid is the disrespectful woman, someone who treats you or others with consistent disrespect, dismissiveness, or contempt. Here's what this looks like. She regularly dismisses your thoughts or feelings, mocks you in front of others, talks down to you, interrupts you constantly, or shows contempt when you express vulnerability. She might be rude to service workers, disrespectful to your family or friends, or generally treat people as beneath her. The psychology behind disrespect usually stems from insecurity, superiority complex, or learned behavior from dysfunctional relationship models. Some people use disrespect to maintain power or control in relationships. Others genuinely don't recognize their behavior as disrespectful because it's normal in their family or past relationships. Why is this toxic? Because respect is absolutely foundational to healthy relationships. Without mutual respect, love becomes hollow. You can't build genuine partnership with someone who treats you as lesser. And disrespect tends to escalate over time. It starts subtle and gradually increases as she realizes you'll tolerate it. You'll find yourself constantly undermined, belittled, or dismissed. Your confidence will erode. You'll stop sharing vulnerable feelings because you know they'll be used against you or mocked. The relationship becomes adversarial rather than supportive. Red flag 6, the emotionally unavailable. The sixth type to avoid is the emotionally unavailable woman, someone who can't or won't engage in genuine emotional intimacy despite appearing to want a relationship. Here's the pattern. She wants the benefits of a relationship: companionship, physical intimacy, social status of being coupled, but won't engage emotionally on a deeper level. Conversations stay surface level. She deflects or becomes defensive when you try to discuss feelings or relationship issues. She keeps you at arm's length emotionally while expecting you to remain invested in the relationship. The psychology behind emotional unavailability usually relates to past trauma, attachment issues, or fear of vulnerability. Some people learned that emotional vulnerability leads to pain, so they protect themselves by staying emotionally distant, even in romantic relationships. Why is this toxic? Because you'll be in a relationship that feels hollow. You'll feel alone even when you're together. You'll try to build genuine intimacy and constantly hit a wall. You'll wonder if she actually cares about you or if you're just convenient. The frustration of trying to connect with someone who won't let you in will eventually exhaust you. You'll either settle for a superficial relationship or constantly feel rejected and unfulfilled. Either way, you're not getting the genuine partnership you actually want. Someone who's emotionally unavailable might be a perfectly nice person, but they're not capable of the genuine intimacy that real relationships require. Don't sign up to be someone's project or therapist, hoping you can help her open up. That's not your job, and it rarely works anyway. If this video helped you recognize red flags you've been missing or validated concerns you've had, hit that subscribe button and share this with men who need to hear it. Drop a comment about your experiences with these patterns. I want to hear your stories. And remember, you deserve a healthy, functional relationship with someone who enhances your life rather than draining it. Don't settle for anything less just because you're lonely or attracted. The right person is worth waiting for, and avoiding the wrong person is worth protecting yourself for. Choose wisely. Your future self will thank you.